Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Investing and Trading Live. As always, my name is Josh Lilquist. Today is Monday, July 31st, last day of the month. We have the last day of the month, August, coming up, and we had a pretty good July for the stock market. So today what we're going to do is we're going to run through a couple things. We're going to peek at the major indexes, the SPY, the Diamonds, the NASDAQ. We will also check out Disney. That's going to be gapping up here today. We've got the bell opening here, or the opening bell here in about 5-6 minutes. Looks like 6 minutes to be exact. We'll peek at Salesforce. That's continuing to drop after it had some major upward movement for quite some time. And then we will do a options scan. We'll scan for opportunities in the options market. By that time, we will probably have the market open, so we'll be able to see exactly what's going on in there, so we'll check that out. But as we get started here, before we do anything, we know there is risk in trading, so make sure to protect any losses, take your gains when they're there, but make sure that you know that we are not giving any recommendations on this show. This is for strictly entertainment purposes only. So that being said, let's get going on the S&P 500. The SPY is going to be gapping slightly up here today. It is, as we ended the week last week, we talked about on the show, it was 456.92. It's going to open up roughly around 457.75. So up just a little bit, still right near the all-time highs. Or not all-time highs, but highs from last week from that gap up where it dropped. I believe that was on Thursday. After the Fed announcement. That happened on Wednesday. That's the S&P 500 gapping up ever so slightly. Same thing with the Dow Jones. That's going to be gapping up roughly around 354.94 is where it's projected to open up here. So we'll see what's going to go on there with the Dow Jones. NASDAQ, that one's going to gap up a little bit as well, but just about 50 cents or so not much of a mover there. So we'll see the volatility come in. The market will start moving in about 5 minutes here, so we'll peek at that a little bit later. Gold and silver. Let's peek at gold. That's going to be gapping up because obviously the gold market, the spot market opened up yesterday at 5 p.m. Central Time. So that's been moving since then. Currently at $1,964.70 roughly. So it's up a little bit on the day, so it's going to be gapping up. Same thing as silver. Silver is also up just a little bit at 25.50. Up a little bit on the day, up about just 15 cents. So gold and silver up a little bit. So everything is kind of correlating here today. So we'll see what happens as the market opens. Let's look at a few stocks. Actually, we haven't looked at oil for a while. Oil currently at 81.61. Got a little cartoon playing here, so we'll turn this down just a little bit. Crude oil at 81.62 now. Up just a little bit on the day, up about 8-10 cents on the day. Continuing this uptrend now since June 28th, so the whole month of July, markets soared here from $67 to $81 per barrel. So we are reaching the highs from April of this year. So if we break that high of April of this year, we're probably going to continue to see that to go up. I don't see any major supply zones overhead. A slight real messy supply zone right around the $85, $86 area. So we'll continue to watch that to see if this uptrend continues, especially on the daily chart and the 4-hour chart, obviously, and the 1-hour chart. Looking at Bitcoin currently at $29,484 even per Bitcoin. As we talked about on Friday, the Bitcoin market has dropped out of that yellow box that we had drawn here for our YouTube viewers, and it's lowering out of there, so it's creating another sideways channel, we'll call it. So I think this one, yeah, this does have a demand zone way down at 27,000. So we'll continue to monitor that, but currently not really trading that anyway. All right, moving on to the dollar yen, currently still in that dime area. So we haven't incorporated a lot of Forex here, but we're going to start doing that here this week. As we know, we trade the dimes. We follow the major whole numbers: $1.10, $1.20, $1.30. So let's start with the euro dollar, sitting right at about $1.10.22. This one, is measured in pips, not shares. So no action here on the euro dollar. Dollar yen, also in that 140 even area. It's within that the whole number there at 140, so no action on that one. Pound dollar, this one here, also in that same area, so no action there. So one thing about trading and investing, no trade is still a good trade. Now with the Australian dollar, which is the Aussie dollar, currently bearish on that. We have got to close below the 67.52 mark, going to a 4-hour chart, and currently at 67.06, currently in a selling opportunity with that. So that is the Aussie dollar. Let's peek at the dollar Swiss franc. This one also in a bearish territory, in a selling opportunity potentially here for people that are bearish in the market. Aussie yen, this one currently is at 87.15. That's the dollar franc. Then we have the Aussie yen, currently at 95.54, and is currently bullish based off of the major holes. Now this one here has been showing a lot of volatility, so for those people probably been getting stopped out pretty frequently here because of the volatility. Currently in no action right now. New Zealand yen, also in a bullish. This one here has been pretty choppy here for about a year now, and is in bullish action here, looking for a close above the 88.25 mark, and we do not have that yet. So currently no action with the New Zealand yen. New Zealand dollar also in bullish opportunities, no action there. So we have one opportunity in the currencies right now. Same thing with the Aussie, New Zealand. This one has been choppy as well for a long time, a year and a half now. So no opportunity with this one as well. Moving on to some of the stocks that we wanted to look at. I wanted to peek at Disney. This one is now open, gapping up. So the market is opening, folks. Gapping up about $1. Let's peek at our options. We had some options trades on that, some cash secured puts. That's probably showing some good. We're about 50% to our premium, so we'll continue to let that ride. Open the options chain because we're going to scan for some opportunities. So Disney currently up 1.16 now %. What was the other one? I think it was Salesforce. Salesforce was gapping lower. Let's look at that. Gapping lower about $1.87. So this one showed some major movements up here back on July 6th, 7th area. And I believe it was because they raised their costs, or their subscription model, or their cost, however they charge their customers. I believe it's yearly is how they charge people. But they raised that, if I'm not mistaken, and Now we're showing a little bit of bearish movement here, going back down to where it was at back from the early July. So Salesforce down, Disney up, Netflix up about $4, which is about 1% on the day. So way to go, Netflix, opening right just a little bit up on the day, just gapping up just ever so slightly, but just showing some major movements up. Let's peek at before we go any further with stocks, go with the major indexes. The S&P 500 did gap up and is showing some strength. Same thing with the Dow. And the NASDAQ, the QQQ, showed some strength right away, but now it is showing some weakness here than the NASDAQ. So that's going to affect the different tech stocks. Target up on the day. Let's see if there's any major movers. PayPal's up 2.6%. Tilray up 4% on the day. Apple down slightly. PLTR was another one I'm going to look at. That was gapping up, and that did gap up. But we are gapping into that supply zone still. So this PLTR is in that supply zone that we've been talking about. It did gap up and it is going higher, so it's showing some strength. So PLTR looking good for the day. BHG up 30 cents, 2.44%. Way to go, BHG. What a dog. Skills also up 39 cents, which is about 3% on the day. Gapping up and showing major strength. Meta down 0.5%. All right, so let's scan for some opportunities in the options market. So we'll typically we just look at the Bollinger Band, percent Bollinger Band. Nothing's in the negative right now, but Delta Airlines is currently is the lowest one at about 9.9%. Not much volatility, probably not showing any premium. We'll peek at some 30-day options on Delta Airlines, 32 days. Let's look at that. The only meat on the bone is at the 43s, which actually is in that demand zone. Market needs to go down. Let's look here. Needs to go down about 7% to get there. So that actually, I'd like to see the volatility pick up on this one and get a little more meat on the bone. It is given 1%, but I'd like to see this pick up a little bit. And this demand zone was created at a supply zone, so that could be a potential opportunity there, but not enough meat on the bone for me right there. GME also low on the percent Bollinger Band. It doesn't have much volatility either, so we're going to not even look at that. American Airlines, so the airlines are showing some weakness here for quite some time. It is popping off of this demand zone that we had created back on, I don't remember when he created, but that's looks like it's from June. Let's peek at I know we had some strikes at about I think about the 15 strikes before that we were looking at, but just weren't given quite enough premium. So not a whole lot going on there. 32 options, yeah, the only thing that's given any meat on the bone is the 15 and a halves. So we're going to skip on this, but it is popping off the demand zone that we had talked about probably last week or the week before. TLT, which is the bonds, no volatility. So there's not a whole lot of volatility. By the way, there is a scan. WWE is creeping up on the volatility and is 30%. So it has been dropping. Let's look at let's just for giggles look at and see what the premium is given on there's not much for options, but 18-day. You're looking at the hundreds. It's only $6. 46 days, kind of a long ways to go out, but the 95s are given just over 1%, but the spread is 25 cents, so I'm not sure. Let's see, where's 95? 46 days down to 95. Actually, that's not too shabby, but then again, I'm still not going to do it. So market would need to drop 9% to get down there. So if the volatility can spike up here with WWE, I do like WWE long term. They've been talking that they had the sale and all that stuff. Vince McMahon's out, but he's in. Who knows what's going on with that? But I do like this one. So I'd like to see this volatility pick up a little bit more. So not a whole lot going on there if you're bullish the market. potential selling opportunities. Obviously, you have Nordstrom, which is high, but the volatility is completely. There's no meat on the bone if you're looking to do any selling, like a cover call or something, selling calls or something. But so not a ton of opportunity as far as what we like to look for on here with options, but if the volatility can spike a little bit, we might be able to get some meat on some of these bones here with Delta Airlines and WWE, potentially American Airlines, so the airlines. So that being said, that's our market opening bell pre-cap, and now the market is open. It's 8:40 Central Time. Markets are up. A lot of the stocks are up. Salesforce down. Disney is up. So we're seeing some good volatility there. We got earnings this week. I believe Apple is this week. We talked about that. Let's just look at earnings whispers. I know we gave the earnings report last week, but let's just peek at that real quick just for our viewers and listeners today. SoFi today, I think that's already done. Yeah, they were positive. Boy, everything is in the green. Everything that's reported today so far is in the green. Let's just look at SoFi and see what they did. SOFI is the ticker symbol. SOFI. SoFi on the day, wow, gapping up bigly, and is currently up. It's at 11.27, gapped up 20%. Way to go, SoFi. And this probably has some room to run. Look at that. So earnings looking good for SoFi. Yeah, everything has reported great earnings. I mean, just knocking them out of the park. But the problem is they've been lowering expectations, which it's a lot easier to, when you lower expectations, you can always, not always, well, in this case today, beat earnings. Let's look at IMGN. I don't even know what IMGN, but they had a surprise of 87%. Their growth was 480%, 487 to be exact. Let's just look IMGN, see what their stock price looks like. IMGN. I don't even know what this is. It's a great example, folks. So IMGM blowing out earnings. A surprise of 87.5%. Growth is 480% up, 487%. So great earnings with IMGM, but cratering today. I mean, completely cratering. This stock closed at 19. I mean, it's not cratering big time, but it is down 10% on good earnings. So that just says, folks, that great earnings doesn't always mean great movement in the price charts. And how you find these price charts, there's many platforms out there. That is where you make your financial decisions. Don't be basing all your decisions on news. We talked about on the show on Thursday. It's not about the news. It's about the clues. So until next time, retire young, my friends.